Hey guys, welcome to Market Mondays. Hopefully, you guys had a fantastic weekend. I spent most of last week in Vegas for the Mortgage Mastermind. Learned a lot of great stuff in there that I'm going to share with you today. I'm also going to be sharing with you guys what's going to be happening this week that's going to potentially turn mortgage rates in the more positive direction. Maybe we'll see numbers back in what we saw earlier in this year in January and February, where rates were in the low sixes. I think we're actually headed there in the next month or 2 months. Alrighty. But before we get right into it, I'm going to do a quick digest for you guys. Why is water heavier than butane? Why is water heavier than butane? Is because butane's a lighter fluid. All right. So getting right into it. At the Mortgage Mastermind that I attended last week, I met a lot of the great people. I also met even my personal hero in the mortgage industry, Habib. I got to shake his hand a few times. We got to have a very personal conversation with him, completely fangirled. But one of the questions I got to ask him, he still agrees that mortgage rates are expected to get into the fives at the end of this year. We might see high fours into 2024 while we're in the middle of the recession. So everything he said pretty much up until this point he still feels pretty strongly about. So, and he thinks the next 3 months are going to be very pivotal in how mortgage rates are going to trend in the better direction. So, which is really great. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask him is that, we've talked a lot about what's going to be happening into 2024. What I wanted to ask is what's happening into 2025? Well, one of the things he brought up is that he thinks there's going to be some kind of a stock market correction, potentially a crash, where mortgage rates could trend up higher. So 2024 is probably, at the end of this year to 2024 is probably the year to buy a house or refinance, because they're expecting rates to trend up a little higher. But we don't really know. So that's kind of what's interesting and what's expected to happen. Now, this week, or just say that from last week, mortgage rates have effectively kind of balanced out. They haven't really changed, haven't really been making moves up and down at all, not really. So for the most part, they've been kind of flat just in the last week. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can kind of see it. But if we're just looking for the last week, it's slowly rising, but it's basically been relatively flat, up and down, relatively flat. What's going to happen tomorrow and Wednesday is the inflation reports that are coming out for June. Now, these inflation reports are highly anticipated to be really good, which means we're expecting inflation to come down. With inflation coming down at a very rapid pace, we're expecting mortgage rates to respond positively. And that is relatively true based on the last inflation report that happened at the end of May. That producer price index dropped mortgage rates quite a bit because the inflation report was better. So we're expecting the same thing tomorrow. So hold your horses. We're expecting a positive response in mortgage rates. That's probably when I'm expected, or I plan on locking all my clients so that mortgage rates are a little bit better. So, of course, things have not been great in most of May just because the whole SVB bank failures. We had the debt ceiling discussion, so that caused rates to go in that more negative direction. But we are seeing more positive movement. Again, this is relatively flat. So things to look forward tomorrow. For those who are my realtor partners, I will plan on updating the Quick Call app in either tomorrow or on Wednesday, so you guys have the most updated information. If you guys aren't part of that Quick Call process yet, what I have is an app that allows my partnered realtors to have access to a way to check rates and be able to run numbers on every house they look at. So that's something I give to my realtor partners. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully you guys have a great week. Look forward to seeing what's going to be happening this week. Anyway, that's all I got. New cap.